US officials are sounding the alarm about the growing threat of a deadly fungus that's resistant to drugs. It's a topic that's top of mind for many who have been watching The Last of Us on HBO. So, to help us make sense of this real-life threat, Otago University biochemist Kurt Krauss joins me now. Kurt, this fungus, Candida auris, has spiked in cases in the US. How concerned should we be about this, and what does this fungus actually do to people?
Kia ora, Amanda. Thanks so much for inviting me. Candida auris is a pretty nasty fungus. It's sort of a cousin to Candida albicans, which is a somewhat less serious pathogen that causes thrush, for example, other sort of common fungal infections. So Candida auris is bad because it tends to cause quite serious infections. Can cause bloodstream infections, for example. It can affect the heart, can affect the brain, and it tends to affect sick people in hospitals, sick people in intensive care units and in nursing homes. And the mortality rate can be quite high. Up to 30 to 50% of people who have serious invasive Candida auris infections can die from them.
Gosh, it is a worry, Kurt, and there are signs that the fungus is resistant to drugs. How concerned are you by this, and could one day we face a pandemic of fungal infections?
Well, you're right. Because it's resistant to some of the most common treatments for fungus, it's a tough bug to treat. So currently now we're able to treat it with combinations of multiple antifungals, and up until recently the numbers have been quite small. This fungus only appeared in 2009. The numbers were very, very low, but over the last 2 or 3 years, sort of commensurate with the COVID pandemic, the numbers have gotten higher and higher. So most recently it's in the thousands. So we're watching it very closely. We think we have a good idea of how it's spread, and so people are preparing for it, and they're taking steps that we hope will prevent a pandemic. It's always possible. We don't need another pandemic. I don't think it's likely to be anything like what we're seeing on the TV. On the TV, by the way, it's a completely different fungus called cordyceps. Cordyceps is endemic in the Tibetan area, and it's actually thought to be is consumed as a health food in that area. It's thought to have healthy properties. So cordyceps from the HBO special, very different from Candida auris. Numbers very small. We're able to treat it now. It's not in New Zealand, by the way. There are some cases in Australia, and New Zealand is getting ready and getting prepared, though, that eventually it will be here, and I think we'll be ready to meet the challenge.
I'm very pleased you've cleared that up about The Last of Us. Otago University biochemist Kurt Krauss, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
My pleasure. Good evening.